Alright, so we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. Not different as in like something I would never do for my channel, but it's just different as in I haven't done it yet. We're going to be specifically talking about a manga today. Specifically a manga that just came out today as I'm recording it. Not the day that I'm uploading it, because I don't like uploading things as soon as things come out. It feels like a shitty thing to do. So instead, it's probably going to be either tomorrow or a few days from when this comes out. We're going to be talking about the new manga series on Shonen Jump called Wild Strawberry. This is a story about a man in Tokyo after Tokyo has been overrun by plants, completely overrun by plants, and the plants have been infecting human hosts in order to take over their body and eventually propagate and become more plants. And that is the whole crux of the story. He has a sister, and his sister has already been infected by one of these plants, but she seems to be handling it fine. Now, in terms of the actual story itself, I'm not gonna lie, when I got into this, it was just a spur-of-the-moment thing. Now, this is only the first chapter, so I have no way to say how good it is, to say how much I like it. I can only go off of what I feel after this first chapter. And the art and the ending have blown me away. So we're just gonna go over this chapter as it is, and just talk about it. If you guys like it, please read it. Download Shonen Jump, read it. Or Viz, or however it is you read your manga. As long as it is a legal source where you're paying for it, read it. Because there are a lot of manga that get started, have a great start, but because they don't have enough viewership, they die soon afterwards. So if you are enjoying a manga, and that manga isn't already long running, go out of your way to pay for it. We're going to hop into this, though. The story started off with just a man robbing. He steals a piece of candy in a store that is just overrun with flowers and fauna and stuff like that. He gets stopped by an old man. The old man's like, "Yo, you gonna pay for that?" And they flip off, they put up a flower to the old man. Now your first thought is like, this is weird. Do they have like flower powers? Are they part flower? Now I didn't read the synopsis before I started reading, because I was at work. I just started reading it, and so I'm like, this is so weird. I also at this point thought that maybe it was a female because of this image right here where they do look kind of like a female. So I'm thinking like, oh shoot, a female protagonist. I love having female protagonists. So they flip off the flower, and immediately the man is scared. He's threatened. He's like, oh no, it's you. And they move forward, and he starts chasing after him. And as he's chasing after him, this gigantic, immediately next page, this giant plant monster comes out of the alleyway and consumes the old man. Eats him whole. It's beautiful. Look at the art in these. It feels so detailed and so well made. It's freaking gorgeous. Now, I'm not saying that a manga should be only beloved because of how gorgeous it is, but it being gorgeous is absolutely a plus. Next up, there is just a bit of backstory. We're learning about how Tokyo's overrun with flowers and herbs and whatnot. And he says that, like, at this point, putting up a flower to somebody is worse than putting a gun to their head, which is fudging crazy. Then, this is the point where I got intrigued. Because I am a weak-willed person, alright? I am a weak-willed human being, and I'm not gonna lie, I like me an attractive woman. And his sister, who I didn't know was his sister at the time, I wasn't sure what he was to her, is right here. Look at just beautiful. The eyelash, the flower, the beautiful flowers. I mean, not flowers, like herbs coming off of her back. Absolutely gorgeous. And this is when you find out that she is a host. She has a flower within her. And then you get this beautiful title card of just them as kids even, sitting on a building overrun with greenery, by Eri Yamamoto. Then after that, we get a little flashback to I'm not exactly sure if this is like a flashback or if this is just a different situation that is happening to show us what happens here. But these people are at a diner. There's an old man sitting there scarfing down his food. And he doesn't look all right. He looks like he's probably just, hard on that crack. That man just snorted a pound of crack, and he's not doing good. And then his head blows up into a whole floral extravaganza. And you just see a lady here covered in blood, and she doesn't even look scared. She's not like, oh my god, what just happened? She's just like, ew. Blood, gross, which just tells you how bad things have gotten. And this is the point where you find out that people who have been infected are called Jinka, which stands for human flowers. And so then you see that right afterwards, the man gets burned. A firefighter who shoots fire instead of extinguishing fire burns him alive. The whole place gets quarantined, and it winds up on the news. This is where you find the two main characters. They're like, wow, I can't believe that this even got on the news. If this happened in our town in Tokyo, because something like this happens so often, and Tokyo has become such a deadbeat town, something like this will never pop up on the news. It happens every day, and no one would ever know about it because nobody cares. You would just walk down the street and see a dead man with flowers growing out into the wall and not even think about it. At this point, he looks at his sister and he grabs the flower sticking out of her back and is just like, he's talking to the flower. And he's just like, listen, remember, you're not allowed to kill her. That's my sister. You leave her the fuck alone. And at this point, we actually do get a flashback. As with most mangas, I don't know if this applies for every manga, but at least most of them, when it flashes back, it goes black. The in-betweens of panels is just completely black instead of white. And we get them as a kid. We see our main character talking to his sister, drawing them at a family restaurant and being like, one day we're going to be able to do that. Obviously, at this point, they're orphans. They live in an orphanage, and he just got exciting news that they're about to be adopted. They get adopted by these two extremely kind-looking parents. At this point, I was like, oh my god. My heart was aching a little bit, because I'm like, man, you about to see some people with some great parents, and then I'm like, oh wait, they're alone right now, which means for a fact these parents are dying. And that made me so sad, because I did not want to see these lovely looking people die. But of course, your expectations are just that, expectations. And they're so kind. They're just like, listen, we will give you the world. We'll give you everything that you want. We're a real family. The only thing that we ask of you is that hopefully one day you would be willing to call us mom and dad. That is so heartwarming. It's putting a lot of pressure on them, but it's so heartwarming that he would say that. Then we cut to the middle of the night, where Keanu is waking up her brother and being like, hey, I hear a noise downstairs. So they go to check, and they see the mom and dad arguing. I'm thinking like, oh shoot, marital troubles, one of them's gonna kill the other. By the way, at this point, I'm thinking this is all before plants have evolved. I'm thinking at this point that this is way before Tokyo is overwrought. So, they're having an argument. I'm like, shoot, there's gonna be marital troubles, until they're like, no, I eat the boy. You always get the boy. It's my turn to eat the boy. And I'm like, what? cannibals? And then I'm like, no, they have to be plant people. The father caught them snooping. And so immediately is just like, all right, time to cut the act. And just 2 giant flowers pop out of their heads with giant mouths, getting ready to consume them. This is gross, by the way, but the artwork is so well done. This feels like some like folklore of like creepy beings that like try to invite themselves into your house and eat you. It's terrifying. But luckily for both of them, right as they're about to get consumed, the main girl, Kayato, awakens her plant abilities, I guess. I don't know how she became a host. We get no information as to what made her a host beforehand, but she's definitely one now, and she was strong enough to completely destroy both the mom and the dad. And look at this gorgeous art. It's beautiful. So then after that, they're worried, they're scared. And all she has to say after that is, you can't eat Kingo. Kingo is the name of the main character, by the way. I'm really bad with names, why I didn't say it earlier. I've been going as I see them on the panels. And so then we cut now into our timeline again. She, after becoming a host, always wants to be in the sunlight, and whenever it's raining, she actually gets very depressed because it's cloudy outside. And all she wants is the sunlight. But of course, a bunch of fire soldiers are coming around. That's not what they're called. I don't actually remember what they're called. They're called like the extinguishing force or whatever. But he obviously like ducks her down from the window so these fire soldiers don't see that she's a host. And so as this is happening, they get a knock on the door, and who is it? The landlord. They're 3 months behind on rent. Of course, she immediately leaves because this is an anime landlord. They're very patient and will let you live in the house for free for several months while harassing you the entire time. It's not really harassment. It is their money and you're living in their house. But I'm just like, kick them out, bro. It's been 3 months. Kick them out. So, next thing we see, she's huddled up in a blanket, and and then we get a cut to a few of these fire soldiers. And this is where we get the reveal that it turns out he is a fire soldier. Yep. Kingo is one of these exterminators, burning any plants that they see. They decide to go chill out on a building and have a little smoke break. Not Kingo, because he's a main character, and new shonen main characters don't smoke. And so, they're just talking about life, talking about how this other guy, he came from a rich family and all that. And Kingo's like, bro, I was an orphan. Soon as I got parents, they tried eating me. Life's crazy. So then they find out that there is another Jinko? Yeah, Jinko, that is in the city, and immediately Kingo's like, whoa, that's where my sister is. That can't be her. So he starts running without even putting on his fire suit. And as he gets there, he sees Kingo just standing there in the air with all these flowers around her, and he's mortified. Look at this man's face. He is terrified because he knows he's not worried for her. He knows that she can control it. He's worried for her sake. He's worried that they're going to kill her now and that they are no longer safe. And so the landlord immediately snitches, because landlords really do be snitching like that. It's kind of crazy. He then begs for Kayato's life, begs that she won't try to attack anybody. And then, when they refuse to listen, and he starts restraining them and they start blasting, he grabs one of their fire things and immediately flips it on him. Now this man is in danger. He is in danger right now. And he's like, yo, stop firing on my sister. Keep shooting fire on my sister and this man's gonna die. But they don't care. they keep on firing. And a matter of fact, he gets shot. The chief there shoots him right in the chest, and he falls to the ground. They tell him to keep incinerating, and you see Hayako? I'm really bad with names. She looks distraught. You could see it in her eyes. And he's just like, yeah, maybe people need to learn how to listen when I tell them to stop. And then, boom, pops him again in the back of the head. And so at this point, you know, she's mad. She's done. That's her brother. And this art is freaking beautiful. And she flips out, shooting her plants everywhere. Also, amazing fudging art right here. Covering this entire fudging area and completely immobilizing everybody. Not killing anyone. We actually find out just afterwards, no one died. Just injuring everyone so that they can get away. And she stored herself inside of the dead corpse of Kingo. And that's where the chapter ends. That's all we get for now. But I am already hyped. The ending of this chapter, like nearing the end, I was like, all right, this is pretty good, but where's it going? But the actual ending, I was like, man, I'm excited for the next chapter. I want to see how this story progresses, and I cannot wait to see it. If you guys are just as excited as I am, I hope that you guys will check it out. Hope you guys will spend the 10 minutes it takes to read this chapter out and give it a chance. Obviously, I just read like pretty much the entire chapter to you, but don't worry about it, alright? Calm down. No one needs to know. But alright, it's been great. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I hope that your life continues to keep going well. Have a nice day, y'all.